Welcome to this moment, a space where you are not here by accident, but by divine appointment. You might be sitting here thinking you've already seen it all, that life has thrown every curveball your way, and that the outcome is already set. Maybe you resigned yourself to the thought that it will always be the same, that disappointment will always linger just around the corner. But let me tell you this. What's coming for you is far beyond anything you've experienced. You've been walking through seasons of pain, of silence, of unanswered prayers. And in the midst of it all, you may have wondered if your efforts, your waiting, were in vain. You might have even questioned if anyone, including God, was truly watching. But I want you to know this. The silence you felt was not abandonment. It was preparation. And the wait? It wasn't just a pause. It was an invitation for something greater, something you couldn't yet see. So I'm here to tell you, you have no idea what's coming, but I do. And it's bigger, brighter, and more purposeful than anything you've imagined. This is not the end of your struggle, but the beginning of your rise. You're about to walk into something you've been prepared for, not through your own strength, but through the grace and the presence that has been with you every step of the way. This is the moment when everything changes, not by your effort, but by divine design. And I'm here to help you see what's just around the corner. For so long, you felt as though you've been walking through a desert, dry, barren, and unyielding. Each step forward has seemed like a struggle, and at times, it might have felt as though you were sinking into the weight of your own weariness. You faced moments when it seemed like hope was a distant memory, buried beneath layers of frustration and confusion. The doors you knocked on remained firmly shut, the answers you sought stayed silent, and the dreams you once held dear seemed to slip through your fingers. It's been hard to keep going when it felt like no one saw the battles you were fighting in secret. The quiet ache of wanting more, of believing there had to be more, but seeing nothing change. That's been your reality. You've smiled on the outside, but deep inside, your heart has screamed for relief, for some sign that you were seen, heard, and valued. And yet, even in the midst of it all, you stood, weak, tired, unsure, but standing. You didn't give up. You kept moving, kept trusting, even when everything around you seemed to say, it's not worth it. And that, right there, is where your strength lies, in your willingness to endure, to keep walking through the unknown, to keep hoping even when hope felt like a distant memory. I know how heavy that burden has been. I see the silent tears, the heartache you've carried alone, and the strength it's taken just to keep putting one foot in front of the other. But let me tell you something. This season has not been a waste. Every tear, every heartache, every moment you thought you were standing still, it's all been part of a much bigger plan, a plan that about to unfold in ways you cannot yet imagine. Hold on, because your moment of breakthrough is coming, and it's going to be worth everything you've endured. You may feel as though you've been stuck in a never-ending cycle, waiting for a shift that never seems to come. But hear me clearly. Change is already on the way, and it is far beyond anything you could have imagined. What's ahead for you isn't just another slow passage of time where you simply endure. It's a divine interruption, an intentional act of grace and transformation that will shift everything. What I'm about to do in your life cannot be explained by logic by your past or by the circumstances surrounding you. It will not make sense in the human sense of the word. It won't fit into the framework of your past disappointments or your current understanding. This is not just a change. It's a complete rewriting of your story. The doors you've tried to open on your own, they will swing wide, but not because you knocked on them. The opportunities you thought were lost, they will find you, but not through your striving, through divine timing. I am replacing the foundation beneath your feet with something stronger, more lasting. You won't just walk into a new chapter of your life. You will step into the purpose that was written for you before you even took your first breath. It's not about your efforts, your planning, or your understanding. It's about your readiness to embrace what I'm about to release. You've been prepared in ways you can't yet see, through seasons of pain, silence, and uncertainty. And now, you are being positioned for something far greater than survival. You are being positioned for fulfillment. What comes next will not reflect your current circumstances, your background, or your resources. It will reflect me, my nature, my timing, my power. You may not be able to explain it, but that's because it was never meant to be explained. It was meant to be received in awe, in surrender, and in trust. What's coming will carry my fingerprint, and it will change everything. Prepare yourself, because what's ahead will make you look back and see that every struggle, every moment of doubt, and every tear was part of the perfect plan I had for you. You've carried more than anyone could ever see. The weight of your struggles, the quiet battles, the invisible scars have shaped who you are. They all have purpose. Every painful step, every moment when you felt as though you were breaking, was not in vain. The pain wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant to prepare you. You walked through seasons that have buried others. The kind of seasons that make people give up, the kind that break spirits and wear down souls. But not you. You've kept going even when your strength seemed to run out. You've held on to promises with nothing to show for them. You've carried burdens that no one else knew about, and yet you still stood. There were times you wanted to give up, times when your faith seemed too small to move mountains. You wondered if you were still loved, if you were still being watched over. The silence you endured, it felt deafening at times. The confusion, the waiting, the unanswered prayers, they made you question whether your efforts were even worth it. But now, as you look back, you'll see that those seasons of struggle weren't punishment. They were training. Each trial, each heartache has been refining you. You've been molded, stretched, and deepened in ways that could not have happened through comfort or ease. Your spirit has been enlarged through pain, widened through loss, and strengthened through stillness. And now, the weight of glory that you are about to carry will not crush you. It will empower you. You might not have understood at the time, but every challenge was a lesson in endurance, a chance for your faith to grow deeper and more unshakable. And now, all that you endured has created a foundation within you strong enough to hold the blessings that are coming. You have learned to stand when no one else would, to trust when answers seemed far away, and to believe when hope felt like a distant memory. You are not where you are by accident. Every tear, every moment of doubt, every ounce of pain has been part of the process that has made you stronger, wiser, and more resilient. What comes next will not break you, but it will build you, and it will be more than you ever thought possible. You've waited for this moment, though you might not have fully realized it until now. Every tear you've shed, every unanswered prayer, every time you wondered if you were being overlooked, has been seen. And now, heaven is about to respond. But let me make one thing clear. This response is not simply about changing your circumstances. It's about changing you. The challenges you faced, the silence you've endured, the seasons where you felt completely alone, these were not signs that God had abandoned you. In fact, they were signs of preparation. God was not distant. He was drawing closer to you, refining your spirit in ways that would not have been possible if everything had been easy. Every moment of suffering was a lesson in endurance, a chance to develop a strength you didn't know you had. What is coming will not look like anything you've expected. It will not come through your own efforts or your own timing, but through divine intervention, a response from heaven that cannot be explained by anything you've seen before. You may have wondered why the doors have been closed, why the answers were delayed, but now you will see that God has been setting the stage for something greater than your imagination could fathom. This moment of divine response is not just about receiving what you've asked for. It's about unlocking the full potential of what's been inside of you all along. God has been carefully aligning things in the unseen while you've been surviving in the visible. Now, the alignment is about to shift. What was hidden is going to be revealed. God is not simply going to give you what you've been asking for. He's going to give you what you were truly meant for, a purpose that transcends your current understanding. When it comes, you won't be able to explain it by your own strength, your own logic, or your own abilities. It will be a divine act of grace, a fulfillment of the purpose He had prepared for you before you even knew it. And when it comes, it will be clear, it will be undeniable, and it will be perfectly timed. He has not forgotten you. He has not abandoned you. The waiting was not punishment. It was purpose. And now, the response from heaven is coming, not just to change your circumstances, but to bring you into alignment with your divine calling. What's coming for you, child, is not just a change in circumstances. It's a fulfillment of promises that have been written over your life long, before you even knew how to dream. You've been faithful in the unseen. You walked through seasons of uncertainty, and now, God is about to release blessings that cannot be explained by anything you've known or expected. The favor that is coming will find you without explanation. not because of your merit, but because of divine timing. You've been through much, and you've carried burdens that others may never understand. But hear this, your endurance was not in vain. Every trial, every hardship, was preparing you for the abundance that is about to be poured into your life. This is not a season of struggle, but a season of fulfillment. A season where everything you've been waiting for will suddenly come together. Doors that you never knocked on will open. Opportunities you didn't even know existed will find you. And blessings will come, not because you chased them, but because they were always meant for you. But here's the thing. You are not walking into prosperity by your own efforts. This is not about your strength, your wisdom, or your ability to make things happen. It's about God's hand moving in your life, orchestrating every detail, every connection, every opportunity. You were never meant to carry everything on your own. The prosperity you are stepping into is not simply financial or material. It's a deep, spiritual abundance that will fill every part of you. God has been protecting you through every season. When you couldn't see it, He was shielding you from distractions, from detours, from things that would pull you away from your true purpose. Even when it felt like you were walking through the storm alone, He was holding you, preparing you for the weight of glory that you're about to carry. This protection was not to keep you in comfort, but to build your capacity to hold what is about to be released into your life. So, I ask you now, do you believe in protection and prosperity that God has for you? Because this is not just a moment of change. This is the manifestation of every prayer, every tear, every moment of surrender that you've given. It's your time to step into the fullness of the life you've always been destined for, a life where God's favor locates you, not because you earned it, but because He has chosen you. And this favor will carry you through every door that's about to open. What's coming for you is not just a return to what you've lost. It's a complete restoration, a revival of things you thought were gone forever. You've been through seasons where it felt like you were losing pieces of yourself, whether it was dreams, relationships, or hopes that seemed to slip away like sand through your fingers. But hear this, God is about to bring those things back to life in ways you could never have imagined. There were moments when you thought you could never rebuild, when the brokenness seemed too deep, too widespread to be healed. You've grieved what was lost, and you've longed for what seemed unreachable. But now, the pieces of your life that you thought were shattered are about to be reassembled by the hands of the Creator. What was torn down will be rebuilt, not as it was, but better, stronger, and more beautiful than before. God is not just restoring what you've lost. He's breathing life into the parts of you that you thought had died. Those dreams you once had, the ones that seemed too far-fetched, too broken, too distant to ever come true, are about to be revived. The hopes you've buried deep inside you are about to rise again. God doesn't just fix things. He transforms them. And this restoration is not just external. It's deep within you. The pain you've carried, the brokenness that you've tried to heal on your own, will be touched by the hand of God. You will find healing not just in your circumstances, but in your heart, in your soul. You will be made whole again, not because of what you've done, but because of His grace. What's coming is a rebirth, a fresh start, but not from scratch. It's a start from the place of everything you've learned, everything you've endured, everything you've survived. You are not starting over. You are starting with wisdom, strength, and resilience that can only come from the refining fire you've walked through. The wounds will heal, but they will leave marks of wisdom. The scars will remain, but they will remind you of how far you've come, how much you've grown. The things that once hurt you will no longer define you. They will be the foundation of the strength that you stand on today. Prepare yourself for what's coming. God is not just restoring. He is rebirthing your life. And when you step into this new season, you will see clearly that every struggle, every loss, and every painful moment was not in vain. It was all part of the beautiful restoration He has planned for you. As you stand on the edge of this new season, I invite you to prepare your spirit, not with anxiety or fear, but with a deep reverence for what God is about to do in your life. This isn't a time for striving or for trying to control the outcome. This is a time for surrender. The shift that's coming does not require your efforts to manipulate or force. It requires your trust, your willingness to let go, and your openness to what God will unfold before you. For too long, you may have been fighting battles that weren't meant for you to fight alone. You've tried to carry burdens you weren't meant to carry. You've tried to fix things that were beyond your ability to mend. But now, God is asking you to surrender those things, your plans, your expectations, your need to have everything figured out. It's time to release control and allow God to lead you into the next phase of your journey. This shift requires a posture of trust. It requires you to step out of the logic that's been limiting your vision and into the space of divine possibility. You might not understand how it will all unfold, but that's okay. God is not asking you to understand. He's asking you to trust, to walk by faith, and to believe that He's already gone before you, preparing the way. The moments you spend in silence, the seasons of waiting, the periods of uncertainty, they've all been cultivating the strength you need for what's ahead. Those seasons were not wasted. They were the necessary preparation for the weight of glory you are about to carry. You have been deepened, enlarged, and strengthened not through ease, but through the trials that have shaped your heart and your spirit. Now is the time to align yourself spiritually with what God is about to release. Your role is not to make it happen, but to get into alignment with what He's already set in motion. This is the moment to stop striving in your own strength and to begin resting in His presence, trusting that everything you need for the journey ahead is already within you. So, let go of the fear that has kept you bound. Let go of the worry that has paralyzed you. Let go of the doubt that has whispered in your ear. And instead, step into this new season with a heart that says, I trust you, God. I'm ready for what you're about to do in my life. This is a time to prepare spiritually, not by figuring everything out, but by positioning yourself in surrender and expectancy. You don't have to understand the fullness of what's coming, but you do need to be ready to receive it. And as you make space for God's movement, you will begin to see doors open that you never expected, opportunities unfold that you never imagined, and blessings flow in ways that defy all logic. God is about to do something extraordinary in your life, and it starts with your surrender. This is it, the moment you've been waiting for. You've walked through seasons of struggle, doubt, and pain. You've questioned if you'd ever see the light at the end of the tunnel, if the promises that were spoken over you would ever come to pass. But let me remind you of this. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. And you are certainly not outside of God's plan. What's coming for you is beyond what you can imagine. It's not just a change in your circumstances. It's a transformation of who you are and the life you were meant to live. You're not walking into an ending. You're walking into a revealing. The person you become through every trial, every heartache, and every moment of endurance is about to step into the fullness of their calling. The pain you've endured, the silence you've suffered through, the waiting that has seemed endless, all of it has been preparing you for this very moment. You were never meant to stay in the same place. Every challenge was shaping you for something far greater. And now, God is about to release you into the life He's always had planned for you, a life filled with purpose, fulfillment, and divine alignment. This is not the end of your struggle. It's the beginning of your rise. You've endured, you've held on, and now you're about to step into promises that were always meant for you. The breakthrough you've been praying for is not only coming, but it is already in motion. You may not fully understand how it will all unfold, but I want you to know this. You have been chosen for this moment. Everything you've walked through, every tear you've shed, every moment of doubt, it has all been part of God's perfect plan. And now it's time for you to rise. Don't hold back. Step into the life God is calling you to with boldness and trust. The season of waiting is over. The season of fulfillment is here. And when you look back, you will see that this moment was not just a turning point. It was the moment everything changed. Your future is bright. Your calling is secure. And God is right here, walking with you, guiding you every step of the way. You are not alone. You have no idea what's coming, but God does. And He has been waiting for this moment just as much as you have. Now, as you stand on the edge of this divine shift, I ask you, what will you do with this moment? Will you continue to wait, letting fear and doubt control your every move? Or will you rise, step into alignment with God's purpose, and walk confidently into the future He's already prepared for you? This is not the time to sit back and hope things change on their own. It's time to act, but not through striving, not through pushing harder, but by surrendering your plans and trusting that God's plans are far greater than anything you could ever orchestrate on your own. The shift that is coming requires your participation, but it does not require your control. God is calling you to trust Him, to move with Him, and to believe that the best is yet to come. So I challenge you today. Live like you believe it's already begun. Walk through your day with the confidence that God is aligning everything in your life for your good. Don't wait for the evidence to appear before you start acting. Start acting in faith that the shift is already in motion. Speak like it's true. Live like it's true. Expect things to fall into place. Not because you're forcing them, but because you are aligning with what God has already set in motion for you. Share this message with someone who needs to hear it, someone who has been waiting and wondering if change will ever come. Let them know that what's coming for them is bigger, brighter, and better than they can imagine. And as you share this hope, know that you too are stepping into a new season, a season where you are not just surviving, but thriving in the promises of God. The shift has already begun. Will you step into it? Will you trust that the future God has prepared for you is already in motion, even if you can't see it yet? It's time to live with the assurance that you are right where you are meant to be.